Hi, this is Pankaj. Let's get started. Okay, so purpose of this video is to provide the awareness regarding the ADT01, which is our GST audit, which comes under section 65. Because as you are aware that we are just filing the returns, monthly returns or quarterly returns. So we also file the annual GST audit. So at any point of time, department could ask regarding the assessment. So this is all about the assessment, and in this video we'll discuss how the assessment will work and what kind of documents are. So let's start the video, and here it is. Let's go to the next slide. And yeah, here we have to go through this GSTM. GSTM means our GST audit manual, which is provided by the CBDT. By this manual, if you can see, there will be three annexure: annexure 1, annexure 2 and annexure 3. Both has separate details in it. Like annexure 1, you have to provide the registered person master file, and annexure 2, in this annexure 2 GST form ADT01, they will provide a intimation to the assessee. That means the department will actually notify to you that we are going to make the audit for from so and so year to so and so year, like that. So I would like to highlight the one more thing. Like GST assessment, it will be different regime, as GST regime is tax commission or assessing officer are able to do the GST assessment for the various periods. It's not like that our income tax or income tax assessment where it will be conducted 1 year by 1 year, but here the commissioner has right to do so for various years of audit at a time. And finally we'll see the annexure 3, which will be some documents will be required from the assessee. So let's see a one by one annexure and find it out what it is. So this will be the annexure 1 for GSTM. Annexure 1 which mainly known as registered person master file. Here you have to provide your basic details like your name, GST number, address and telephone number of the registered person, email ID. Your PAN will be required, and description of the goods or services supplied. That means with the HSN number you have to provide the description as well. And suppose if you have 10 HSN number where you are providing the supply, so that means you have to mention all the 10 HSN number with the description of that goods or services. Then additional place of business after registered place which is mentioned in your certificate. After the registered place you have to mention the additional place of business as well. Then here you have to mention which kind of company your company it is. Suppose if it is a private limited, mention the private limited, or public limited, or it will be the like limited liability partnership or local authorities or statutory, which category of company it is, then you have to mention accordingly. Then it will ask the details of proprietor or partners or managing director, whosoever will be applicable. You have to provide the detail for that. Like in our company case, we have provided managing director's details as it is applicable for us. So you have to see how it will be applicable in your company. Accordingly, you have to fill out all the data. Then we'll go these details will be required as it is a necessary DGFT form IEC. That means your import export certificate number. This you have to fill it. Second, your SIN number. It's also the corporate identification number that you have to fill it here. Then it will ask if a stockbroker with the SEBI, yes, or if it is no, then you have to flexible accordingly as per the form requirement. Then you have to go for the authorization person of the registered person. This authorization person means which DSC is applicable for the returns. That person details we have to fill it here. Then we have to mention and the account which we already provided at time of registration to the department. Then here it is the vital part. You could see that there is a HSN wise details, value of goods, supplies, ITC paid. Suppose in our cases, our like service industry, so this will be not applicable to us. However, if it is applicable to you, we have to mention, and I'll tell you the how we fill for the services. Here I have to mention the year wise, like for us it is from 2017, 18, 18, 19 and 19, 20. So each year we have to fill the name and description of the services, then taxable value of that, SSC code we have to mention, GST payable. Suppose here GST payable is 100, and from that we utilize credit let's say 60 and paid the net 40. So that is how we have to divide it and we have to show it. Suppose here we have to write it 100, then here credit utilized suppose 60, that means 60 you have to mention here, and 40 the rest will be your net GST paid in cash. Then zero rated supplies and deemed export. Zero rated supplies, it will be your export goods plus your SEZ and deemed export if it is some. Then let's go to the next annexure. This annexure you will see, this will be nothing as like it's only an intimation to the SSC, where they will mention your company name and GST details, name and address, everything, and they will mention from which year to which year they are going to conduct this audit. So this is only intimation. Next annexure will be annexure 3. In annexure 3, like here you could see the department asking the document from 2017 to 2019, all the details we have to provide to them, like this we already covered, that is our GSTM1 which is annexure 1, and next details will be the balance sheet or your profit and loss account, notes to account, and your trial balance, your annual returns, registered company income tax returns, tax audit reports, like it will be your 3CA 3CD reports and 3CEB if you have if you are falling under the TP audit, which is transfer pricing audit. Then you have to provide a copy of registration, your GST registration copy you have to provide it, cost audit report if any, then you have to provide that detail as well. Manufacturing process, we are not in manufacturing sector, but yes, if your company dealing with the manufacturing, then you have to provide the manufacturing data as well, like the workflow, how the thing is working in manufacturing industry, that is the data. Then major inwards, I think they will get the data from your input tracker if you are maintaining in hand, that will be handy. Then the personal office, then whoever is dealing with the taxation data in your company, that contact number details, so they can discuss with that person if any other requirement in the regard of our GST audit. Then they are asking trans 1 price, suppose copy of trans 1 returns, if you filed the trans 1 returns, that when you convert VAT to GST, there will be some trans 1 you have to file for to get the input data, to get the input from the previous regime, which is VAT, and you must file trans 1 in that time. So if you filed it, then you have to provide that data. Then sales registers, debit note, credit note, foreign currency expenditure if any, then ITC register as I mentioned earlier. Then copy of agreement between supplier and receiver. This is the overall annexes we discussed, from annexer 1 to annexer 3. It pertains to our ADT01, which is for our GST assessment. And this is it. Thank you.